Okay, so on today's episode, we are going to be speaking about grief while teaching. If you clicked on this, I'm sure this is going to resonate with you and you want to hear some insights. Um, Grief while teaching is very interesting. From past experience, I broke up with my boyfriend of 7 years. And while I was doing this, I was in my pre service internship, extended practicum, um, and I was teaching. This was all new for me. I had to navigate my emotions, my ups and downs while this breakup was happening, but as well, I was navigating a new career opportunity for me. I never taught for 4 months, that like huge. So this was all new for me. And as a passion project, Single on Purpose by John Kim um, came to me in January. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I want to speak about grief and teaching because it's not talked about enough. And I feel like grief comes in different waves while teaching. Main focus for this episode is breakups, aka, or if you're going through a divorce. I personally am not, but breakups, divorce, same thing, or whatever. But like grief can happen, like you lost a family member while teaching, miscarriages happen, emergencies, or your students become sick. How are you going to deal with that as a teacher to create a peaceful classroom? So let's dive in. So, breakups. From Matthew Hussey's podcast, it is fabulous and it made me realize like fear enters the body after a breakup. So, it definitely did for mine. And I was just always on this constant state of like uncertainty of like, am I doing this right? Like, was I supposed to break up with him? I don't know. I wasn't sure. Um, but in his podcast, he reminds us that like fundamentally this relationship had to end. I knew it had to end. We both weren't happy. It was long distance. Um, I was growing and he was staying the same. That was our situation, long story short. And I want to find someone who actually can like come to my level and be there for me in a way that I need in a partner. So this grief happened and I'm sitting there teaching and I'm like, wow, this is really hard to deal with while always keeping a smile on your face so your students can't see that you're hurting. Um, I taught in a grade 1 classroom, so I didn't tell them I was going through a breakup, but you could tell that like some days I was upset or I just wasn't in my right mind or like I wasn't that high energy person that I usually am. And so just say, oh, like I'm not having a good day, you guys. And just like, I just was honest with them and they were so cute. They brought me pictures and gave me hugs and things like that. So moving on from a breakup while teaching, I think helps. And some things that I did in this situation was I really dove into my service or acts of service for teaching. And that fueled me to let go of what was going on in my personal life and really be that person that I want to see myself in the future. And I want to bring my career to life. And doing so, I managed to really put myself out there as a teacher and understand who I am as a career woman. After 4 years in university, doesn't seem like you don't know what's really happening. So opening up my mind to like all that really helped me heal. And it just made me feel so liberated and powerful that I can do this on my own. And so just like acts of service and understanding the power of service as a teacher. So that really can help you move through your grief. Um, as well as building your connections with your teachers and your admin and your students. They are going to help you. I know they did for me. So, yeah. And the more connected you are with your students and staff, they're going to like really guide you through this grief and be open arms. Um, Another thing we go through as teachers is there's a thing called teacher resilience. So not only was I dealing with grief, or you're dealing with grief, we also have heavy workloads. It was insane the amount of stuff I had to do with like DVD designs and stuff like that. So yeah, and like kids tantrums, kids with autism or like exceptionalities are really testing you at your limits when you're not even at your best self yet. So it was very hard to handle that too. But then again, like you look back, you're like, whoa, teachers are so resilient. So not only that, we're going through grief, but we also handle a lot of other things, which makes us pretty powerful individuals. Emotional regulation. I know as teachers, we know all about this, but I want to focus on like emotional regulation in yourself. So say after grief, you're not emotionally regulated, your students are going to tell. So just how can we do this to create a peaceful classroom? I did lots of body breaks. I did them with the students. I felt like I needed to let my feelings out, and it felt great to like actually have some movement and deep breath exercises, body scans we did together, and it was healing for both of us. So I really thought that was pretty powerful. And then days where I felt overwhelmed, I was like, you know what? We're not going to get into this lesson right now. We're going to take about 15 to 20 minutes just to sit with ourselves. And that gave me an opportunity to regulate my body and my mind and my spirit to become the teacher that they need to be in the next lesson. So that helped as well. The human curriculum is amazing, and as teachers we can use it in our classrooms. And so Judy Furnock created this, and I just want to give a definition about it. I printed this off. I'm going to take notes on it, but it is built about foundational research and practical ideas experienced to influence healing-centered work. So as teachers, we want to be healers as well. And a big keynote from this human curriculum is management. So we can control ourselves. And in the human curriculum, it states, manage our emotions. We maintain a state necessary for processing, learning, and even healing. So just how can we manage our emotions before going into class? Do we cry in the morning? Do we write in our journal after school how the day went? Just things like that to like move on from your personal life and a breakup that's happening. Another thing that I found very, very helpful, let's have some notes, is the inquiry process. I chose the heuristic. I am so sorry if I butchered that one. Inquiry. So that is more introspective and it's non-linear. So with my breakup, I feel like it's inner work has to be done, and healing is gonna be fluctuated for myself, and maybe it is for you. But 2 points from this inquiry is the autobiographical and the phenomenological aligned. So both of them are your personal, which is personal to yourself, and just how we can make sense of our experience. So when I broke up with my boyfriend and I was teaching, I was like, okay, this is such a new experience. I am letting go of the past while focusing on my new future. And it was just a lot to take in. And yeah, I kind of sat with that. And using The Single on Purpose by John Kim has really helped me to become more introspective of what I need for closure, why I broke up, and why it's so important for myself to be with me. I need to ask myself, what do I need right now? Because I have never asked that in this last 7 years. I was always go with Connor, my ex. And I never sat like, oh, what do I need? So this is my chance to become a better educator and be more self-aware of my feelings and of what I intend to do in my future and career. And like breaking up, it sucks. You always romanticize the past and the good things. So that's what I would do when I had a free moment during lunch. I would always like dive into the past and think about, wow, this was so good. But I changed my mindset a little bit and I was like, hey, what kind of adventures can I take myself on? What kind of adventures what gets me excited with friends and family? I kind of left that to the side of like, well, it could have been with him. I am taking myself on dates. Take yourself on dates, even if you're in a relationship. It's so important for your self-care. And that's what I'm doing, and it's feeling really, really good. I just want to make a reference to one of the movies. It's Guardians of the Galaxy. If you haven't watched it, go watch it, please. It's amazing. Soundtrack is fabulous. But there's a part where Star-Lord is just in his zone. He's happy. He's listening to his music. Life is good. And his energy's up here. And so that always reflects, I'm like, hey, how can I get my energy back up there even in times of grief? So for me, I've created like a happy playlist instead of like the sad country songs that I've been into lately, or like some like old like 2000s like Collide by Howie Day. Like those songs get you in the feels, they make you feel sad. So I started a happy playlist, and I created them with my students in the fall. And so there's a Benson Boone song, Please Stay. They loved it, and every time I'd play it, the whole classroom broke out in song. And to me, that was just so healing because it was so funny, and teachers were like, what is going on in here? And it was just like a moment that I'll never forget. And so creating playlists that mean a lot to you kind of help you with your grief stages. Lastly, there's a quote. It's a long one. For grief. And it was posted by my mom on Facebook. So that's where it's quoted from. But it's a quote from Jim Carrey. And he once said, grief is not just an emotion, it's unraveling. A space where something once lived, but is now gone. It carves through you, leaving a hollow ache where love once resided. In the beginning, it feels unbearable, like a wound that will never close. But over time, the raw edges begin to mend. The pain softens, but the imprint remains. A quiet reminder of what was. The truth is, you never truly move on. You move with it. The love you had does not disappear. It transforms. It lingers in the echoes of laughter, in warmth of old memories. In silent moments where you still search for what is no longer there, and that's okay. Grief is not a burden to be hidden. It is not a weakness to be ashamed of. It is the deepest proof that love existed, that something beautiful once touched your life. So let yourself feel it, let yourself mourn, and let yourself remember. There is no timeline, no right way to grieve. Some days will be heavy and some will feel lighter. Some moments will bring unexpected waves of sadness, while others will fill you with gratitude for the love you were lucky enough to experience. Honor your grief, for it is sacred. It is a testament to the depth of your heart. And in time, through the pain, you will find healing. Not because you have forgotten, but because you have learned how to carry both love and loss together. Thank you so much for listening to my rant. I would definitely recommend checking out the book Single on Purpose by John Kim. He's got amazing resources. The human curriculum is awesome. And just podcasts have helped me with my grieving stages. So hopefully this one could shed some light and some fun.